You're eating. I was like, I'm gonna say hi. Sonia just puts food in her mouth.
It's my drink.
Fucking waiting, man. Like,
Hi, everybody. Oh, it's going good. I'm in the second week of October for this episode.
Yeah, we're not real life, but
Not real life. No, we're tricking you. So yeah. So actually for this episode, we are bringing on a guest to talk about the movie Dolls from 1987. So I'm going to bring on my guest and then have him introduce himself. Adam from Riot at the Movies. Hi, Adam.
Hello. Anyway, just being spooky. How's everyone doing?
Hey.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to just talk a little bit about yourself so the audience knows who you are?
I do that enough as it is. Sure, okay. I'm Adam, known as Adam Riot Thorn. I run Riot at the Movies. It's a group that helps underground, no-budget DIY filmmakers get released. I don't do a great job at it, but I do a little bit of it. Do film festivals, and we make our own bad movies as well. So people who hang around with me long enough get suckered into dying in some of my own homemade movies.
Yeah, I know Adam from VCR Party Live, Found Footage Fest. We're both Melindas. So that's how we connected. And then we both happen to be Canadian. So
That
This is
really
a
helps.
bunch of hoses.
You're like,
that's
"Oh,
two
I'm
things
Canadian?
in common.
What?" Yeah.
I suppose that I'm also of a duo called Video Hosers. We don't do a whole lot on the internet together, except separately. Myself and Morgan White of the WOC Archive, that is a much more successful YouTube page than my own. We get together and we play weird clips by pretty much ripping off VCR Party. We don't really hide that. We have admitted to them that we have ripped them off, and they have said they accept it. They haven't said they appreciate it. They just say they accept it.
Yeah. They're like, well, if you're gonna do it, cool.
We totally steal ideas all the time. Like
Yeah.
that is
It's called playing homage. It's not
Yeah.
it's not stealing.
Right. You're just changing it up a little bit. Taking an idea, making it better. It's not your fault. It's fine.
Don't steal from Red Letter Media though, because their fans get really mad at you. We did an episode not too long ago where we did a live event at the theater we do stuff with in Toronto, and we stacked VHS tapes up to the ceiling and played Jenga with them, and we posted that. I got like 10 random messages from people I've never heard from before going, "That's a Red Letter Media thing. You shouldn't do that." I was like, I'm sure they don't care, but their fans,
yeah,
they will
why
just
are
know.
they
They'll just
saying
sense it.
anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the
That's
Red
the
Letter
you
Media
hear
guys
the
are cool.
most.
But yeah, they got a wild fan base. Watch out.
Jessica, who are you and what are you drinking tonight?
Okay, I am the one hitchhiker Isabel from Dolls after she's in the process of being dollified. Woo! And I am drinking. When me and Don were in Niagara Falls, we stopped by a wonderful place called Cornerstone Estate Winery, one of those micro wineries, and I got a Bad Moon Riesling, and so that's what I am drinking tonight.
Adam, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, earlier when we played a little game, I was mixing tequila with an energy drink. Now I think I'm just on to energy drink, but I'm in a nice spooky glass to fit the season because it's October, obviously.
Obviously.
Sonia, what are you and what are you drinking?
Okay, I'm the same character as Jessica. We did not plan it. It just showed up that
I was
way.
gonna be that person too, but I was like really lazy. So.
We were so alike.
I spent a long time teasing my hair, and it just went straight. And I just put on every single necklace I own. Just one of them, I made. It's from World of Final Fantasy. I just put on everything. There's a Nintendo controller there somewhere. I can't see, so you guys are looking at me.
If she existed now, that is what she would wear. If that movie was
This
made
is
now,
a belt.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
We'll just and my hair tie up here. I didn't have
Flash
a bow.
harness.
these are pants. I just tied a pair of
Pants?
leggings on my head. The bottom of them are right here. Like that's the waist right there.
That's how I made every costume ever in my life. So.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh, we
Yeah.
love our quick, interesting, budget-friendly costume.
It's called
And-
ingenuity.
That's
Exactly.
right. And I am drinking a Ninja Creamy. Really, guys, sponsor us. That'd be great. Everyone gets a Ninja Creamy. And
Oh, it's not a thing you made up. It's you
yeah,
bought it
it's-
as a Ninja Creamy.
yeah. So it's
Oh.
It's a
coffee
machine.
ice cream. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
machine that does it for me.
Oh.
So yeah, it's coffee ice cream with Kahlua lots mixed in, and that is. Oh, I know.
You're shoving the teeth?
Oh
Oh.
my god! Don't
It's
ship
okay.
it.
It's okay. Oh my gosh, we don't.
First lost tooth on your show? Like-
Oh, that would be great, though. I love teeth.
Yeah, we're such a weird collector. Like
I
I'm
do.
waiting.
I have a collection.
I'm really hoping Trudeau puts in the dental plan before he gets kicked out because, like, I really need the free teeth.
I need the free dental first.
Like,
Then
I
you
need,
can go.
yeah, that's right. Like, let the dentures happen, and then you guys can vote them off, right? Like,
Right, yeah.
Taking us off the island. Just like first, give me
Yeah.
teeth.
yeah.
Just give us teeth.
Giving me PTSD. I've had a terrible teeth summer. So let's change the subject, please.
Of course, of course. Let's
As
get
I
back.
completely go and eat some sugary cereal, let's get sponsored by these guys too. I feel like this could be another host to your show.
Oh, it matches. That's
It
right.
does.
Is she like a new character from the monsters, like the spooky,
Yep.
like Count Chocula or whatever?
You can go get a mask of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and now Carmella the Creeper. And she's
There
the
you
Wait,
go.
why
DJ
is she the creeper?
because she's I guess just a zombie. It's just
Yeah.
And
as
I
generic
couldn't
as
think of
possible.
another word.
Well, like Creeper's
She
like
could
a
have been
like
Zoe the
Minecraft
zombie.
Yeah. Well, because it's also caramel flavor.
They got it
That's
all
why she's
matched.
Carmella. And when they were going to put another C word beside her, they only did that in Scotland. It wasn't allowed to be called anywhere else than that.
So-
Okay.
I am.
Yes, Dawn.
Oh,
What
well,
are you
Well, and what are you drinking?
Yeah.
I'm the old lady, the crazy one, and I'm just drinking Diet Coke. That's it. That's all I got.
That's
It's
fine.
good.
You're allowed
That's
to
right.
be sober.
Yeah,
I just grabbed one of my old granny robes, and I was like, you know what? This is what I'm gonna be, because
You know,
I'm
that's
tired.
how all grandmas got like 10 kids, man. They wore those long cotton
No,
nighties.
they've got
Easy
I don't do my
access.
skincare routine, so you're getting these natural wrinkles coming in, like
Yeah.
Well, so to clarify for me, as I then just scratch myself, because we were saying the crazy old lady, because yeah, there's the old lady who like lives in the house with like married couple, but then the
Yeah.
awkwardly much older than I think she's supposed to be new mom, and doesn't she wear a robe all
I'm
the
not
time too?
stepmom, I'm not the stepmom.
No, but isn't she also just wearing a robe for no reason? If I remember that right,
She's wearing a fur coat
That's
and
fur
then
coat.
a robe.
right? And then she's got her hair all done up, and yeah, as
Yeah.
if she just got her curlers in or something. Yeah, right.
No,
She definitely
I'm
looks
the
like
one
she's
that
about
owns
to
that crazy house.
very expensively go to bed at any moment. That's what she looks
Well,
like.
yeah, because she's
Yeah.
rich. That's the whole point. He
Yeah.
doesn't have money. It's her money.
Right, yeah.
She's wealthy.
We don't know why
That's-
she's rich though. Like it doesn't tell you why.
but that's probably why she might be older.
It's-
Like
yeah,
he's dating up because she's rich.
I think yeah, we're supposed to
Yeah.
assume she's got old money and that's her boy toy and she's just soulless.
Yeah, he's the boy type. Okay, so what is everyone's speaking of dolls, what is everyone's initial thoughts on the film? Adam, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'm a huge fan of dolls. In general, as a concept, not just the movie. No, actually, maybe, but the movie, yes, massive fan. I have earliest memories of a kid seeing it in video stores, saying, "I love that color cover of the doll on it." And then that begat so many other movies for me, like the Puppet Master movies. There's real connection between those and everything from Full Moon, of course, Chucky, and every other killer doll that's been out there. But I'm a huge super fan of Stuart Gordon, who directed it. Absolutely love. I don't think there's a single Stuart Gordon movie I don't like. But this one's like the closest to kind of like a fairy tale. It feels like kind of a big Tales from the Crypt episode. I I am surprised by anyone who likes older horror movies, like 80s stuff, and doesn't like it. Ever so often, I find someone that doesn't, and it always surprises me.
Okay, Don, what about you?
It was okay. Like it was cheesy. There was some real cheesy parts, and I had to keep
It's an 80s
remembering
horror
that
movie.
Yeah.
it's like the 80s. I was like, remember, Don, it's the 80s. Like, so that was it. Like, it was okay. It was good.
Okay. Sonia, what about you?
I was worried it was going to be scary, but it wasn't.
No.
So I liked it a lot.
I always pick these out for you. Like I'm trying to like not be scary, but be horror.
Yeah. Yeah, our last movie I was terrified of, but this one, it was. I was worried. I was like, okay, it's gonna be great, and then the killing scenes were like nothing. Like it was great. Like it's the jump scare that gets me, not gore. So I was like, oh, it's really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah. And for me, this movie just is very nostalgic. I remember ironically watching it with my dad when I was a kid. And I really love the themes in this movie about how like dads can be wrong sometimes. And now we don't talk. So
Dads can be lame sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah. So I really love this movie. It's one of my like fave, especially horror movies, like horror in quotations, it's just the genre,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to always be scary in that sense.
Yeah, it just like it reminds me a lot of like when you go watch like a theater production and things like kind of are rushed through and cut off and like the scenes are set up weirdly. Just because they have limit to their props and their stage, right? So like it gives very like theater kid vibes, and I love it. Like it was great.
Yeah.
It's probably
Okay.
the most like simple from that filmmaker. It's probably the most simple thing he ever made. I bet you. I mean, he's dead now, so you can't ask him. But if we ask somebody involved, they'll probably tell you that it was made in only a couple days. Really, it was something they probably did really quick because between some of the things he's more famous for, it's even the fans sort of forget that he made it. I think it was a fun movie. It was done to be fun and for nothing else with that, which is what I really like about horror movies. When people are like, I got some friends who were involved with making the second Terrifier movie, and they're all super crazy about it. Then when I finally watched all 2 hours of this like gruesome, slow drag of that, I was like, they were like, "So, did you love it?" And I'm like, "Well, he was a clown. That was fun." And then they all got mad at me, and I'm like,
Okay,
"Well,
I like Terrifier too, but I totally understand it could have been so much shorter. Like some of the scenes went on too long. Part of that I think was because they were also filming some in COVID.
yeah." they were.
And so like they just went kind of ham with that and then just didn't cut what they needed to cut. I feel like it could have been a lot shorter and then probably would have been a lot better.
I have
Yeah.
friends who are a couple who live in your hometown, Jess, and they were over filming a scene for part 2 as extras, and they were filming it right when lockdown happened, so they couldn't get across the border for like a week. So
Oh my-
their memory of filming that is like will be haunting them forever. It'll be more scary than Art the Clown will ever be.
Okay, speaking of what everyone likes about the film, what is everyone's favorite scene? This time, let's start with Asanya.
Okay. I'm just trying to read. Okay, so I have 2. Okay. So the first one is at the beginning when the bear gets thrown, but then comes back to like kill the parents. And it was like so badly done. And it was fantastic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is setting the theme for the whole movie. It's going to be so good. And then I was like, tricked ya, because she's just imagining it. And so like, it made me laugh. Yeah. 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 So I like that because like I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And it was like well done. And she's like, oh, Teddy. So I thought it was gonna be like that slapstick kind of thing the whole time. But then it wasn't. But it was
Sometimes
good.
there was running into doors and the classics, But
Yeah. And then my honorable mention for that one is the end credits, where it's another family is going while the credits are running. I thought that was well like done. Like instead of just like a a dark screen. Like, it was
Yeah, it kind of sets the scene. Like this happens often.
all the fucking time. Apparently. Like no cops or anything come by. Like it's fine.
It's 1987.
Like it's
They're
nothing
gone.
to worry
They're
about.
missing. Okay, Don, what about you?
That was my scene. The teddy was like the teddy. That was my favorite part.
I'm
It's not
sorry.
even stolen. Yeah,
It was
bitch.
good.
Okay, then Adam, what about you?
For everybody, it's going to be the teddy bear because the problem I think with it is that it's so funny and so bizarre that afterwards it sets your expectations in the wrong way because it happens so early. It happens before you've seen anything else. I have a thought, and I've joked about it many times. When that happens, it could have just ended there as like a short film, and you would have been totally satisfied in it.
Yes, yeah.
As some just gag short film. Outside of that, probably, and I will say I do also really like how the ending is the whole circle that it comes back again. That's where I said it makes me feel like it's a gimmick Tales from the Crypt story, where it's just like, ooh, it could happen again.
It could happen to you.
And how painfully the dad turns into, spoiler folks, for the dad gets turned into Punch.
Yeah.
It's so unfunny a scene when he does it, and it's this weird stretchy sounds and things like that when it should be just like wacka wacka, but it actually looks like it really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, good.
Yeah.
It should hurt. Yeah. For me, obviously teddy bear scene, but I did write backups because I was like, that's gonna be there.
That's what I did. I had to do a backup too. I was like, oh.
It's unavoidable.
The soldier death scene when the drums and the music start going, and then it shoots and goes slow motion, and then she's like dying, and their drums and playing the music. I love that so much. It makes the death funny. It's like, you know.
She died really good. Like she did a good job dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she fought back a little bit. I was
She did
rooting
her
for the
best.
dolls, but
The girls are jerks, but in the world of a horror movie, you almost kind of feel bad for them. Like you feel like maybe that, especially because you're really just wanting the parents to get it. You're just like, oh, the girls just kind of got in the way, and they really didn't maybe deserve what they got.
I'm like, their issues are systemic problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
they're
mean-
young, they could have a redemption later in life, but these are like older people that are being shitty to a child.
Right. So you want terrible things to happen to him. My only fear was
Yes.
that the funny guy who, you know, is the friend, as much as if that movie was made today, the whole time you'd be like, that man is way too friendly with that random child.
Yeah, Ralph, I'm like, there was a few times I was like, I wouldn't let my child do that, but I'm so glad she's safe. Like,
But on comparison to her parents, you're like, oh, the creepy old man who wants to hang out with a kid is actually nicer than her actual parents.
oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Ralph's he's a weird thing for me where I do kind of fear sometimes that if I look him up, he's gonna be some bad thing. Because in the world of 80s chubby comedians who didn't make it into the 21st century, I always almost find out there's something. Is he dead now?
Dead?
Is
Yeah.
he dead now?
Okay,
Right.
we don't have to worry then.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
So
fine.
hopefully nothing comes out of some dark secret from him, because the things that I've seen him in, every time I see him pop up in something, it's always something really funny. Ghoulies 3, he's a weird comedy relief of a security guard who keeps getting like accidentally hurt and just keeps appearing throughout the movie. He did a couple of commercials for toaster strudels, which I feel connect to dolls, because it would be him drawing a face on a strudel and going, "Oh, eat me!" and then it'd just be him like really overly sensually eating this talking strudel.
Yeah, I looked him up earlier. I wanted to see what he was in, and he died of like a heart attack or something.
Didn't look like the most
When?
sick guy in the fucking
Like,
year.
could he possibly be on any P. Diddy tapes?
No,
Like, there's
2014.
no chance.
2014.
He's
Yeah.
probably he's pretty old by that point.
That
Yeah.
doesn't- Donald Trump.
I don't think Diddy cares. Let's just be
Yeah,
real.
Diddy has no limits.
I don't think he ever made movies with enough money to afford to be in the Diddy circle. So
I
I think
know.
you're
I
fine.
don't think so either.
He can't afford a freak off. Got it.
I just feared that maybe he might have been somewhere hanging out with the dad from the first Beetlejuice movie, because that always ends up bad when I
Oh
think about it.
gosh.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Every time I find myself enjoying a movie with him in it, because he did some of my favorites, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, why isn't he in
Bueller.
stuff? And then I remember and go, oh right.
And I saw
Yeah.
the second Ferris Bueller. I saw the second Beetlejuice movie,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much like, even though he's not in it, it's surrounded by him.
Right. Well, they didn't. At least we
like-
can admit they didn't want to hang out with him. I'll give
Yeah.
him that. At no point was he definitely had to be studio paid because of his references, but at least they got to say, well, spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen Beetlejuice, they got to be, oh yeah, we killed him.
Yeah. He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is everyone's least favorite scene? Star, who hasn't started yet? Dawn, you haven't started first? What's
No, I
yours?
did. I started the first one.
Okay, Adam,
No.
me.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do it. I'll just go. My least favorite scene was more of a continuity error. Okay, and they happen. That's not the problem. I just feel like this could have been cool if it was there. So the one scene where Ralph is running looking for Judith, and he's like, Jody, and then he hits into a door that she opens and comes out. The blood trail isn't there when he hits the door, and then all of a sudden he comes back and the blood trail's there. I'm like, if the blood trail was there the whole time, that'd be so cool for like the audience to kind of see something either before the characters, or the audience to not see it and then go back and be like, I was there the whole time and I missed it. And that's why that was my least favorite scene.
Is it Ralph who at one point thinks the blood is paint? Someone thinks the blood's
Oh,
paint.
the old man tells him it's paint.
Oh,
And
okay, right. That's
yeah.
right,
And he's like, paint?
Yeah. He's like, what? Yeah. Overacting in it. He's like, paint. Yeah.
yeah.
He was always overacting it.
The whole thing. It was fantastic. He was like, had to act for everybody. I felt like he's like, you know what? I gotta carry this production. I like
He's such a sitcom guy in a horror movie. It feels like, it's he's like
Okay.
one spaz away from doing Chris Farley moves.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, what's your least favorite scene in this movie?
Maybe like right after it's the dad gets his, and the puppet master, in a sense, because he is a guy who played the puppet master in a later Puppet Master movie. He gives some sort of really, really hokey speech about like, oh, Mr. Punch, and it just seems so overly cheesy. He's
Oh,
being,
you're a
I feel
Dickens,
like,
or he said something like that, and it's just
Yeah.
like, what?
yeah, it borderlines on a weird level of creepy, which I feel even in '87 was considered creepy, but maybe it was supposed to. Maybe he just missed the mark. I feel like he's like an amazing actor who can do one note really well, and so therefore he's playing that the whole time. So there's just moments where he's unnecessarily being creepy when it's supposed to be that you're supposed to believe that he's going to help this kid, but you're like, no, he's a creepy man. And at the end, I'm stuck with the concept in my head that he just got bored and it was the morning, or else he would have killed Ralph and that child.
Okay, my thing, he couldn't even give her punch. Like, he gave her a punch, and that punch got broke. He turns her dad in. He couldn't even give her dad as punch.
No.
I don't think he would want to. I think he wants him to stay on the wall as a collection of the people he's.
And then he takes
tortured.
her teddy bear.
Oh, she doesn't get it back right at the end. I
No,
thought
No,
gave
he
it to
takes
the-
it.
She gave it to them.
Okay,
Right.
but when
That's
a
why, and that's
child-
another reason why I think he would have killed her too. He was getting bored.
Well,
When
he
a child
offered.
gives
He's like,
you something that they're like, this is my most treasured possession. You have it, and you're a grown ass adult. You go, maybe you should keep it for now, and I will love to visit it. Because I know you're gonna regret this in 5 minutes down the road.
I know a lot of old men who are toy collectors, and they will steal candy from babies if given the chance. So they're creepy men, and that's how it happens. As you can see by my wall, it's not. Don't if you have cool toys, I don't care. I'll take it.
yeah. I'll take your shit. Like, that's fine.
It's a good thing I don't know how to turn people into toys, so everyone's safe, at least on that level.
Until you learn, you turn into a warlock, and then you can start turning people into
Right. That'll be my first spell I'll ever learn.
toys.
That'll make people into toys, yeah.
Okay, Sonia, what's your least favorite?
I have any scene with the kid in it. I realized
It's in general.
she was like treated really bad, but I just didn't like her personality. But then like for a real scene, it was the stepmom was getting like killed, and then she's like has this look of determination, like she's gonna get around them, and then she jumps out of the fucking window instead. Like what? What?
Yeah.
What?
I wrote that down. I was like, I forgot she just kills herself.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna get through this. There's no way you guys are gonna kill me. And then all of a sudden she's out the window. Like,
And then like two toys look at each other like, meh.
what the fuck?
Yeah, like they're shocked. You can tell these faceless, expressionless toys are shocked by the fact
Yeah,
that that
like,
happened.
why was that her choice? Like, she could have went down the stairs.
And she's so mean that I feel like it makes her death seem not justified enough. Like it feels like, oh, they should have got. They're so like when they kill the girl with the eyes, and that it's so mean and visceral, but they don't really with her. They like slash her legs a bunch, and she's like, "I'm out."
Yeah, like poke her with small scissors.
Yeah.
Like,
Just drag her around a bunch. Like that's
Yeah.
really, it wasn't a whole lot. Yeah.
roll her in some nails or something. No, she just like jumped out the window.
I could be wrong, but I think she's also the director's wife, which is funny. And like she's in a lot of his movies, and she's always really mean and grouchy, which made me think like, what kind of relationship do they have?
Yeah, is he writing these characters in? Like he's
Yeah.
like, okay, done.
Probably when the dad like gets into bed with the stepmom and she's already dead, and like then when he realizes and like he can't get her off, and I don't understand. I'm like, just fucking move her.
Yeah.
And he can't, and I'm just like
Like
that irks me.
Yeah, he like rolls her on top of him. Like it was such a bad acting scene. He's like, oh god. Ah."
For a microsecond, it seemed like it excited him. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, necrophilia.
Well, it's like even like her not responding to his advances, and he's like, I'm gonna take a shower.
Yeah.
You stay right there. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Okay. Now something problematic. So, because since we're a society, culture, and comedy podcast, we can't let that go even when we review movies. So, Sonia, do you want to go first?
Sure, yeah. So at the end of the movie, the kid just drives off with a stranger, and at the same time, she like pimps out her mom. Like, okay, like that.
It's 1987.
Yeah, you can just
The
go
world
for
is a
like these-
wild place. Do you know where your children are?
No, apparently not. Back on their way to Boston. Like that.
I feel the mentioning of her mom at the very end is a safety where they were originally just going to have her leave with the guy and thought, maybe we should say he's taking her somewhere. Because
Yeah.
the very last minute save, because they were like, I really felt like they were just accepting fate together, which even in 1987, it comes off a little weird.
Questionable, yeah. Okay, Don, what about you?
Probably the dad's mistreatment to like his daughter and like
The
hovering
child
over
is-
his wife.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
big one. Yeah,
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Okay.
that's the most
Like,
blatant one. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that one's like blatant, but like, yeah, that was mine. I was like,
Needs to be
Yeah.
stupid
said.
as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, did you see anything problematic?
Well, obviously, it's the relationship between. I mean, the guy is also extremely friendly to the two girls he picks up and then brings there, which feels like he was picking them up, and then we're supposed to believe he's this shockingly innocent guy.
He
Which-
literally says that though. He says, "Well, the way you were dressed."
Right? Yeah. So
He's a
he
nice
introduces himself
guy.
as a skis bag, but then he's
Yeah.
then he's a nice guy too. Which, yeah, it's a character trait from a time gone by. But again, the only way you can explain it is that the little girl is like, this is acceptable solely on comparison to what I've been dealing with for the last 2 days.
Mhm.
But other than that, someone should be calling the cops on him right away, and his weird vintage car that he was driving around in.
Like, why was he driving it in that area where it's so muddy?
And the top was down. Like
I'll
during
be
the storm.
honest. I remember, like, even right now, like I forgot he drove that car. I always, like, in my head pictured him when he picks up those two hitchhikers as a truck driver.
Because that's a
You know?
stereotype for it. Yeah. Right.
Right?
The
Like,
car makes no sense. No one. It's so weird, and no one ever mentions it. It's like someone had it laying around. And they're like, "Oh
yeah,
man, I
no,
want this to be in
someone's
the
car
movie."
on set. They're like, okay, this is what we have to use today.
Because yeah, if a guy looking like him was driving around in that car and said hello to an adult woman, let alone a child on the street, your first thing would be like, "I'm reporting something."
Yeah, yeah, you're a creep.
And I mean, like, I don't mean to also stereotype, but the fact that he's so interested in, like, the toys and stuff, like the young at heart, and like those kind of, I'm like, these are things that are said by groomers.
Yeah.
So
There are many a man on the internet who has ruined my world of enjoying toys and things like that. Because if we go around somewhere and I'll be in a store and some kid is talking about a toy, I'm about to turn around to go, "Yeah, I agree," and then I thought, "No, that is very weird," and someone would be very mad if I decided to ask this kid.
Yeah.
it's like the one good thing the dad did was be like, you can't be near my daughter because she's saying that you're her best friend and we just met tonight. Like
Yeah, he
that.
makes an actual legitimate point of
Yeah.
fact, which is weird because then that makes you almost feel like he's in the right somehow. But because that's an inconsistency too, because he says things to defend his daughter and then totally throws her under the bus in front of his new wife at times in a very cruel way. But then the next second he says things that a normal dad would say, which feels like maybe they were gonna go some other direction, but then just said, "Nah, just kill him."
Yeah.
He had the option. He could have been a good dad and said he always chose his wife and the money, you know.
And if they hate the kid so much and there is still a mom who she likes, why are they don't want the kid? They like point out that they don't want the kid. Why is
Every
the kid
chance
with
they
them?
get, yeah. Like, why
Yeah.
did you take them on your vacation?
They say that they only have her during the summer. And so my thing is
Okay.
because he's married to the new woman, that I don't know how it is in the States, but sometimes depending on the income discrepancies, they can like he might have to pay more child support if he
Yeah.
doesn't see her over
Especially
the
because
summer.
he's marrying into money. So if she's stuck
Yeah.
with the kid,
Yeah.
you'd have
And
to pay her.
who knows, he might even be paying alimony on top of that too. So like
Yeah.
he's like, oh, well, it's cheaper to keep the kid for 2 months than it is to pay.
Yeah, they make the comment in the movie, like, "Oh, if you do that," she's like, "You'll have to pay more child support with my money."
Oh yeah,
Right.
he's about to hit her. But
Yeah,
then she's
yeah.
like, I can
Right,
hit
with
you
that
though,
part,
because
yeah.
it's my money. Like
Yeah.
I can hit you.
I kind of feel bad for the woman who is the jerk new mom because she just looks like she's that kind of person. So I imagine if she showed up for any kind of film thing, if that was the role, she was going to get it. You can imagine she's the nicest person in the world in real life, but it's just looking at her and anything I've ever seen her in, I'm like, that is that teacher who smacked you for talking in like school in the 80s.
She's gonna scold me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there is a whole Matilda theme to the whole thing, but so at some point Matilda would use magic powers to spin her around and make her fly out the window. So it's there's I mean, now that I think about it, the whole thing kind of is Matilda with creepy old men.
Yeah, the old man is the Matilda. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only thing that you guys haven't mentioned was stealing is wrong from individual households. If you're gonna steal from a Walmart
Right.
or a Loblaws corporation,
That's right. Not
you.
individual.
not elders.
Well,
Hey, they were pretty well off elders. You saw their house. They weren't hurting.
You know what? No.
They didn't even
because,
have
like,
a phone. They made their stuff.
Probably because it was stolen.
Because they also stole things from everyone who's
they
target.
did. Yeah.
Yeah.
They sold it for parts. They have like a chop shop in the back.
Right.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
hitchhikers didn't know that. They just thought it was old people,
Yeah.
right?
All the people got turned into dolls, but there were all these cars in another room that were turned into Hot Wheels and little models.
Oh.
So you could have them at any time. They could just turn them back.
There's tracks and stuff.
But no missing car, no stuck cars there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did you guys like back in the day? I don't know. There was like for Super Nintendo, there was like a Hot Wheels type game, and you like were a car, and you got to go like in like around the house and stuff on tracks. and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't it a Micro Machines game or something?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was like it was not Hot Wheels.
But you were
like,
little,
you
and
know,
yeah, I think probably
you
Micro
were like
Machines.
yeah. It was so much fun.
I love being toys.
Yeah.
Speaking of toys, for my final question, for since it was my movie pick, if you were turned into a doll, what would you look like?
I look exactly like this.
Okay, Adam, you go first.
I would be this Street Shark. That's who I would be.
That's awesome.
YouTube exclusive.
Just so if you can Google it if you're not seeing it, or YouTube search it, just so Vin Diesel could do a commercial advertising me. That commercial will always haunt me forever.
That's amazing. Okay, Don, what about you?
Probably Tiffany doll, like from Chucky. That'd be me.
Like a gothic.
That's what I would look like the bride dress, and then like the leather jacket over top, and like the dark makeup, the goth makeup. Yeah, that'd be
Bloody
me.
doll. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, who wouldn't want to be Tiffany anyway?
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Except for the fact you might have to be married to Chucky. Other than that, it's the only loss.
I would be okay with that. I have a thing for psychopaths. It's okay. We're good.
She'll read a book about it.
I'm
Yeah,
assuming this is not a first on this show.
No.
No.
This has been discussed already. Okay.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about Don's porn and sexual smut writings and readings a lot.
I give those 2 thumbs up.
Okay, I'll go. So I feel like I'm gonna go into like detail. I feel like I would be like an elder emo kind of looking doll. So I'd look emo, but I'd also have like the bags under my eyes and crow's feet. You know what I mean? So like a little bit of gray, like but I'm still having the emo look, lots of like dark eyeliner, black, I'm looking a little sad, that kind of thing. But I want it to be in like the shape of like a porcelain doll. So I'm a little fragile. So you gotta be a little careful with me.
You'll break.
Yeah, I might
Breakable.
break. But like I'm interesting because I'm a porcelain. Who uses porcelain? Like that's so I'm an elder.
You just have one crack somewhere on your head all the time and no one knows why.
Exactly. It's like, oh, this doll has a story. Like, you know what I mean?
So you're Annabelle? Like,
Like you find me at a thrift shop and you're like, I wonder what the creator of this was thinking.
oh, I would definitely
like-
be a used toy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
what. Yeah.
I would have
Oh,
found
no
it at Goodwill.
Yeah, no one buys an elder emo new. Like what? Way used, overused even.
Elder emo. I'm really surprised there's not an actual line of toys called that. You gotta market that right.
Market
Copyright that
it.
Yeah.
It's anything from the 90s.
Yeah.
Like if you're buying anything from the 90s, that's elder emo. Like you're like, I need nostalgia back in my life. I'm so depressed. The only thing that's gonna bring me joy is stuff from my
I
childhood.
know. It's like thinking of back when I didn't have to worry about things. Like I still had to worry about things, but it was things that like I didn't understand. Like I was a child. Like I shouldn't
Yeah.
have been worrying about these things, And so I couldn't understand them. So like I want to go back to that time where I could just disassociate with a TV or a book or a board game or something.
Nintendo.
It's so much harder now.
I try.
Okay, Sonia, because I love your interpretation of this costume. I'm interested in what your doll's gonna look like.
My doll's gonna
Googly
be
eye doll.
a baby alive that you feed and it pees and poops. But my owner didn't clean me. So
Oh.
like I don't work.
So your poop gets stuck until you
It's
have
all-
poop madness.
It's all clogged.
It's like finding a Teddy Ruxpin where something has melted in the tape part and it's all got like rust inside there when you open up the back. It sounds demonic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no. your doll's just groaning the whole time.
Yeah. And like it has no clothes. It's like clothes are drawn on with like magic marker.
You're like,
Like-
why is it sweating?
I have an action figure somewhere that sweats. I didn't think ahead of time to find that one. Super gross.
You never know what's gonna come up on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, you gotta like bring a basket so you're prepared. Like,
Yeah, the other walls are too far away to reach. So they only have the funny things here. But it's like looking at the stuff that was on my wall, I was like, I think maybe in reality though that I maybe relate more to this figure. I think eventually I'll look like that figure.
Was that Doug Ford?
It does, yeah, it does look like Doug Ford, doesn't it? Yeah.
hey, Dougie!
Oh, King Kong Bundy, but both of them arm wrestled Hulk Hogan, so I guess it counts. Or
Yeah.
I think I would like to be this one. This is Bobcat
What's
Goldthwait
Rosie
from the Police
What's
Academy.
her name?
What was that?
What? What? Sorry.
What's
Bobcat
Roseanne.
on
That's
what's
what
called
that
Zed.
one looks like.
Oh.
Roseanne.
It looks like Roseanne.
Yeah.
Roseanne Barr.
I don't trust the Democrats. I don't trust the Democrats.
My pronouns are. I can't remember how she chose
US
that joke.
of A.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
something so stupid. Same joke that they all use.
Then his pants fall down. The Bobcat Goldthwait action pants figure. Everyone should have one.
You're like, I'm stressed. I need to see someone in their underwear.
I don't know if I really needed to see someone in their underwear. Bobcat Goldthwait would be my first choice, but
I'm like, having a bad time, dude. Drop your pants.
he'd at least make it funny.
Okay, what's everyone's rating 1 out of 10 for this movie? I know we kind of touched on like our initial thoughts, but now that we've talked it through, Dawn, what is your rating?
7.5. Like even it was
Yeah.
good. It did the job.
Yeah, right.
Did you masturbate to it?
I was able to finish. Like
I was
that's it.
once on a podcast called that.
The
That podcast
movie,
didn't
okay?
last.
Like,
Legitimately,
no.
I was on a podcast called "How Do I Masturbate to This?" and I was only on one episode. They only had
now
like
you gotta
7
bring this
episodes.
up.
Yeah. I
That'll
wish that
be
was
the
still in
next-
there.
Opinionated Lushes miniseries.
It's a spin-off. How do I masturbate to this?
We can do this. We got this.
Yeah,
Market
market it.
There you go.
Coming in the new year. I'll get it.
Okay, Sonia, what about you?
I'm gonna give it a good 8. Like I really like cheesy. Like when it comes to horror movies, I like them cheesy. So that was like top notch, up there with Killer Clowns. Like it was
Killer Clowns of Outer Space is like her favorite movie.
all time favorite movie.
All time.
That's like a 10 out of 10 always.
Justifiable, absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Adam, what is your rating?
It's weird because when it started with us talking about our opinion, it sounded like I was more crazy about it than you guys were, but I don't think I can give much more than a 7.5 out of it solely because it literally is one of the weakest by that filmmaker, and I really love his other stuff, especially the things he's written, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
That was the next thing he made after Dolls.
Yeah.
He made Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
What a career change. You know?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
that's like the drastic difference.
The story I've heard is that when he was after he wrote it and they sent it to them, they're like, "This is your kind of thing. Do you want to?" I think he had Robot Jocks and then that, and he's like, "Do you want to direct it?" And he's like, "Yeah, for the paycheck." But then he thought about it and said, "No, it's not going to help you guys. If I do it, people are going to find out who I am. They're not going to think that's good. It's going to make you somehow get an R rating, and we're not going to do this. So go ahead, get someone else to do it." But he was supposedly there through a lot of the process, so him and Rick Moranis got to be buddies for a bit.
I
Oh,
miss
that's
Rick
so good.
Moranis. Like, I get why he left showbiz, but also
Like, aren't his kids old enough now? Like, he can
I
come
know
back.
I'm such a selfish person. Little Shop
Like-
of Horrors 2 or whatever. Come
He's
on.
one of those guys when I think now after he what was it Ryan Reynolds made him appear in this commercial, but he dragged him out for it, and
Ryan Reynolds.
he showed up for it.
I have a vendetta.
We had to have Vendetta. Well, he's giving a lot of money away, so I'm just going to keep name dropping him, and then eventually he gives money to a lot of weird Canadian things. So just one day he'll just show up and give me money. But other than that,
I love Ryan Reynolds. I don't know what you're
I
talking
fucking
about.
love that guy.
That wasn't me. That was him.
He'll fund us for everything. But
Yeah.
after that's like the one time that Rick Moranis reappeared over these years, I think his response was, shouldn't you be back now because your kids are all grown up, you're doing your thing? And he's like, I've been so out of it for so long, I just realized why I hate it. They're like, if you can afford it, and don't do what you don't want to do.
Yeah, because he gets like royalties from the stuff he does. Like everything he's done is like a cult classic.
Yeah.
So, like
Mackenzie Brothers stuff alone, let alone Ghostbusters, he doesn't need to worry about it.
No. Several Life, the dream. I mean, you can't do that nowadays. Like, it's so hard nowadays. Even like for music, like you could live off a one-hit wonder. Now you can't.
It used to be. Now you can't. No.
Now you can't.
No.
So, we
Still
progressed
gotta work
in
at
so many
Walmart.
ways, and then didn't in so many others. For me, because I picked this movie, I'm obviously gonna give it a 10. Because even when the jokes don't hit, they don't miss. So
like even though they don't hit, they don't miss. That's right.
yeah,
Is that a shirt you're gonna start wearing? Even when the jokes don't hit, they don't miss.
Yeah.
It's all dolls, baby. Like I have like favorite quotes from this movie. Like every once in a while, this used to be so bad because like my grandmother, who I lived with when I was 16, would watch Antique Roadshow. And I was coming in and go, oh, you're watching the Antiques? And she'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, because she never saw the movie. so like I quote this movie fairly regularly just for fun. And again, it's kind of my one connection with my dad that he would be my punch. So
I encourage people who might be confused to maybe Google Punch of Judy before we realize this when we talked about when that old man gave a girl a punch but didn't give her dad. It might sound out of context and confusing if you don't know who Punch is.
Yeah.
Well, fair.
That's the way to do it. Growing up as a kid in England, I saw way too much of Punch and Judy stuff. So there's so many times I name drop it to people and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So I'm glad you all do.
Now everybody who watched this movie.
Yes, I recommend. I think it's like it's one of those good, like even with some of the problematic stuff, I feel like it's a good kind of introductory to gore. Even like it's not a very scary movie, but it has some blood and stuff, and it's just fun for the whole family.
The last movie you said was a family-friendly movie too. You're like all about the family-friendly.
It's gory. It's gory. I've been trying. So Sonia doesn't like scary movies very much, mainly because of the jump scares. And I've been trying, like, I do gore, but not like much else.
Gore's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the other episodes that you guys are doing of this, you have already set, because I think you showed me, you have already set in motion the movies you're going to watch. You already know what you picked.
Yeah, except our final movie.
So maybe I'll making some effect on that, but I don't plan to. Don't worry about it changing your list. But if you do get a chance at some point during this Halloween season, there is a family-friendly 80s horror film that I always watch without a doubt, starring a little young Stephen Dorff, well before he turned into a blood tornado and fought Blade. I think he's like 12 in this movie, and it's called The Gate, filmed in wonderful Hamilton for a good chunk of it. And it is a chunk of it is anyway. And it's probably one of my favorite movies of absolute all time. Saw it when I was like 5. I play it for people now and they're all like, how is this a kids movie? And it's so set up like a kids movie, but because it's 1985 kids movie, it's like these kids are gonna die. And like it's actually really scary and there's really creepy parts about it, but it's still, it wouldn't happen if Goonies didn't happen. But it's basically a little boy decided to open the Necronomicon while playing a rock record backwards while his mom was away on vacation. Ghosts attack his house, and so much weird creepy green light, lots of little stop motion little monsters. Love it.
Okay, well, if we can't get to it this October, I'm gonna write it down for next October.
Next
I will
October.
remind you. There is a sequel. It is super funny, but is nowhere near the same thing. So if you never see the sequel, you're not really missing out.
I was writing it down.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much, Adam, for being on. If you want to use this time to plug your stuff for all of our listeners, let them know where they can find you.
Again, you can find me on the wonderful World Wide Web. Nowadays, I have removed my terriblefest.com site because of the festival is having its final festival in March. We're going to be going through some major changes, so there will be new announcements for that. So at this point, the best way to look up stuff again is my Instagram, which is Riot At The Movies or Adam Riot Thorn. Or again, the main place that we do a lot of our events at, Eyesore Cinema in downtown Toronto. Google them, you'll find the unending amount of student documentaries about that place. Every year we have a bunch of students that go, it'd be really cool. We're going to do a documentary about the store that nobody knows. And then their teacher tells them they're the 5th one in 5 years. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff of us on there. On the 8th of October, if anyone sees this before that, I'd know, when is this going to happen?
This comes out the second weekend or second Friday of October. This comes out October 11th.
Okay, so we
Wah,
missed that.
wah.
Wah, wah.
Sorry.
Then I have
Magic.
just I have just magically had an incredible short films festival where I got a bunch of young student and first time film people to send me in creepy short films that we played that then ended in a feature film about a cult of witches who charged to get revenge on people's husbands for them, called Coven of the Black Cube, and it was super spoopy, and everyone will love it. It's now
I
available
now
on
know
DVD.
what I want my cult to be. That's it. I figured out my cult. I always said I wanted to be a cult leader, and I didn't know how I was going to go about it. Now I do.
No, I think you would love to be a member, and I think they're taking recruits now
No,
as we
I'm
speak.
leading this. I'm
Oh,
leading
okay.
She's gonna break in from the inside.
Well, they don't have they don't have a Canadian division. Their division solely out of Philadelphia. So maybe you can find
All right,
some
I'm bringing
the
in
other
the
sides.
Canadian one.
There we go.
We're going
Invasion.
international.
International.
Yep.
Yeah, International Coven. I think it's the year for that. That means
Sounds
I am
good.
in a lot of trouble.
Awesome. Well, again, all of Adam's links and everything will be in the description below. Thank you so much, Adam, for coming on the podcast. We appreciate you because you knew a lot more about this movie than I did.
Man,
No,
conviction.
thank you so much. Nice meeting you.
Thank
finally.
you.
It's called
Jessica
being a
talked about
nerd.
you.
Okay, everyone. Don't forget to check out our Patreon, where our VIP Patreon, Stephanie Hurst, is chilling there. If you want your name said at the end of an episode, you can join our Patreon at the highest tier, or join at the $5 tier and up and hear our pre-drinks episode where we played some snades with Adam, where he's finishing his tequila energy drink. Chug, 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 chug.
Now it's not as good as it was when it started, but whatever.
Or you can even join at the $2 tier, where we have a ton of other bonus stuff for you, and you'll be the first to hear about our announcements. And once again, thank you